They say love begins with words, but if you've ever looked into someone's eyes and felt your chest tighten before either of you spoke, you already know that's not true. Before words appear, something quieter begins. It moves beneath the skin. It flickers in the pupils. It lives in that still moment between curiosity and confession. That's where attraction hides, in silence. Imagine this. You're sitting across from her. The cafe hums softly. The light turns everything gold. She's speaking, you're listening, or at least pretending to. Her smile is effortless, polite, a mask she's worn 1,000 times before. But then, something breaks the rhythm. A pause that doesn't belong. She looks away, then back. Not at your eyes, but at your lips. Just a fraction of a second too long. Her voice trembles, only slightly. She tucks her hair behind her ear, exposing the fragile line of her neck. It happens so fast, most men never notice. But the ones who do, never forget that moment. Because something ancient has just spoken. You can feel the air change, thicker, heavier, charged with something you can't name. She keeps talking, but your mind isn't hearing the words anymore. It's listening to something else. The pulse beneath her calmness, the small betrayals of her body. That's the secret most men never learn. They hear her words but miss her truth. Because women speak two languages, one for the world and one for desire. And the second one is written in silence. Every woman carries a conflict inside her. The voice that says, "Be polite, stay safe." And the whisper that pleads, "I want to be seen." That battle between instinct and control, that's the rhythm of her attraction. It's not manipulation, it's protection. For centuries, women have had to hide what they felt to stay safe. They learned to express interest through subtleties. A look, a breath, a hesitation. Each one a message wrapped in denial. That's why the signals feel so confusing. She's not playing games. She's surviving the echo of a history that taught her. Desire is dangerous when spoken aloud, so she speaks it differently. Through motion, through pause, through the soft tremor of being seen. A woman's body tells stories her words never could. Her pupils dilate when excitement sparks. Her shoulders soften when she feels safe. Her laughter changes tone, longer, deeper, real. Every small detail is a quiet surrender. But men are taught to chase clarity. They wait for proof. They want something undeniable, a confession, a word, a green light. Yet attraction was never designed to be spoken. It was designed to be felt. When she's drawn to you, it's not her mouth that reveals it. It's her orientation. Her body begins to mirror yours. Her breath unconsciously syncs with your rhythm. She leans closer without realizing it. She laughs softer. Her eyes linger longer. Every movement becomes a confession that no one else can hear. Still, she hides behind normalcy. She talks about the book she's reading, the plans for the weekend, the safe surface of life, because that's where she can stay unseen. Desire, for her, is sacred. It's a secret she shares only with those who notice without demanding. And that's where most men fail. They chase, they push, they ask. But awareness is quieter than that. It's not about taking control. It's about being still enough to feel when the world starts breathing differently around you. Awareness is the masculine calm that allows the feminine to exhale. It's what makes a woman feel she can finally stop pretending. When you truly see her, not her beauty, not her performance, but the trembling aliveness beneath, something shifts. Her voice slows, her guard lowers, her gaze stops testing and starts trusting. That's when connection begins, not through effort, but through presence. Because presence is what her body has been waiting for all along. It's the quiet recognition that says, "You're safe here." And maybe that's the secret no one ever told you. The body speaks before the heart does. It whispers truths that the mind is too afraid to say out loud. When you begin to hear that, really hear it, everything changes. You stop asking, "Does she like me?" because you already know, long before she does. You stop chasing, you start observing. You stop talking to fill the silence and start listening to it. You notice how her energy shifts when she feels seen, how her breath steadies when you stop performing, how the air between you changes when you're no longer trying to impress, but to understand. You begin to see attraction for what it truly is. Not a game, not a strategy, but a language older than logic, a language that requires stillness to be understood. And once you learn it, you start seeing it everywhere. In the way a woman's eyes soften when she feels understood, in the way her laughter changes when she stops holding back, in how her whole body relaxes just a little when she knows she doesn't have to pretend anymore. Desire, you realize, was never loud. It doesn't need to be. It lives in the pauses, in the breath, in the silence before the next heartbeat. And that silence, it isn't empty. It's ancient. It's the part of us that still remembers what love felt like before we learned how to talk about it. Because beneath every glance, every pause, every tremor in her voice, something older is speaking through her. And if you're quiet enough, you'll hear it. It's not mystery. It's not magic. It's biology, written in the poetry of movement. It's chemistry pretending to be emotion. It's the body remembering what the mind forgot. And when you finally sense it, truly sense it, you'll understand what most men never do. That the body never lies. It only tells the truth we've forgotten how to hear. The body never lies. It only remembers what the mind has forgotten. Every pulse, every breath, every quiet tremor inside us is a memory of something ancient. The language of attraction, written long before human beings invented words. We think we choose who we desire, but sometimes it feels more like desire chooses us. It arrives without permission, without logic. You meet someone's eyes, and for a split second your body reacts before your thoughts can explain why. Your pulse quickens. Your breath changes. The world narrows until it's only the space between you and them. That is not imagination. It's chemistry. Real, measurable, undeniable. When attraction awakens, it's not just emotion. It's a chain reaction that starts deep inside the brain. The limbic system lights up, the same part responsible for hunger and survival. Adrenaline surges. Dopamine floods the bloodstream. Your pupils widen. Your skin grows warm. You lean closer without realizing it. The body speaks first, and the mind is forced to follow. For women, this reaction hides beneath years of social restraint. Desire is a private storm disguised as stillness. It's the flicker of a pulse at the base of her neck, the soft change in her breathing, the way her voice drops when she's trying not to reveal too much. She doesn't plan it. Biology does. Her nervous system, the ancient architecture of life, takes control. Blood rushes to the surface, heightening color, sensitivity, awareness. Every detail around her seems sharper, alive. She may try to hide it. Centuries of conditioning whisper that desire is danger. So she covers the instinct with laughter, with composure, with words that sound casual. But the body, loyal to its truth, keeps signaling through subtle gestures, small betrayals that speak louder than anything she could say. You see it in the way her shoulders square toward you, in the tiny movements that close the distance inch by inch. You sense it in how her tone softens when she says your name, how her eyes search for yours and then flee from them. Desire is not just in the body, it is the body. The heart races because it recognizes something familiar in the other person, a pattern of energy, a promise of warmth. The brain tries to rationalize, but biology doesn't wait for reason. It acts. It wants to continue itself, to connect, to create. That is what attraction truly is. Life trying to multiply itself through beauty, through contact, through curiosity. Men often mistake this dance for simplicity. They think arousal is a signal, a yes or no. But for women, attraction is layered. Beneath curiosity lies fear. Beneath fear lies trust. Beneath trust, something primal that words can never define. Her biology prepares for closeness while her mind builds walls around it. The trembling hands, the slow breath, the quickening heartbeat. They are all contradictions inside the same body, longing to be safe enough to let go. To understand this is to see her as human, not as mystery. Every blush, every small adjustment, every careful pause is her nervous system whispering, "I feel something." The way she leans in, the way she mirrors your gestures. It isn't performance. It's a survival code passed down through generations, teaching her when to open, when to protect. She's not calculating, she's remembering. And men, they carry their own biology too. The hunger to pursue, the need to prove worth, the instinct to provide safety. Yet somewhere in all that, we forget that women's desire doesn't bloom from fear. It blooms from presence. Her body reacts not to noise or arrogance, but to calm, to patience, to the quiet confidence that says, "I see you, and I don't need to take anything from you." That is where chemistry becomes connection. Because when a woman's body senses safety, her defenses dissolve. The warmth in her voice deepens. The distance between words grows shorter. The energy between two people turns into rhythm. Breath meeting breath. Heartbeat answering heartbeat. It is not about conquest. It is about resonance. Biology may start the story, but it doesn't have to end it. What begins as chemical becomes emotional, then spiritual. Every physical sign, the widening pupils, the flushed skin, the synchronized breathing, they are not just markers of lust. They are evidence that two nervous systems are trying to find harmony. Two bodies, each carrying ancient instructions, remembering how to dance together again. It's easy to dismiss this as science, to reduce it to hormones and neurons. But science doesn't explain the quiet awe of feeling someone's presence before they speak. It doesn't explain why a single glance can make you forget the noise of the world. There is a poetry in biology, a kind of divine intelligence inside it. The body does not lie because it was never taught how to. It only speaks truth, raw, honest, unedited. And maybe that's why so many people fear real connection. Because to let your body speak means surrender. It means allowing something ancient and uncontrollable to move through you. It means being seen, not just for what you show, but for what you are. When you start to notice these small signals, not as tricks, but as truth, something inside you shifts. You stop seeing attraction as a chase. You start seeing it as recognition. A quiet, wordless understanding that your biology and hers are speaking the same forgotten language. The body never lies. It remembers what it once knew. That desire is not sin, but communication. That chemistry is the bridge between souls. That beneath the noise of logic and fear, two hearts still know how to find each other. And when you finally trust that, when you let go of the need to analyze and simply feel, the entire world changes color. The hum of a voice, the rhythm of breathing, the space between words, everything becomes part of the same song. A song older than thought, older than shame. A song that says, this is what it means to be alive. They say the eyes are windows to the soul. But what no one tells you is that they're also magnets, silent forces that pull two people closer long before they dare to touch. Attraction begins there, in a glance that lingers half a second too long, in the gravity between two pupils searching for the truth the mouth won't say. When a woman is truly drawn to someone, her eyes betray her first. Words can lie, manners can disguise, but her gaze is where desire trembles. It doesn't matter if she's speaking about her day, her job, her plans. Her eyes will drift back to you. They'll soften, darken, dilate just enough to let you glimpse what's happening inside. It's not performance, it's instinct. The body flooding with adrenaline, the nervous system whispering, there's something here. Every man has felt it once, that electric moment when her stare meets his and the world goes quiet. It's not fantasy, it's the nervous systems of two bodies syncing for the first time. Her pupils widen, her breathing changes, and for a heartbeat, something ancient passes between you. No words, no plan, just a pulse. Distance plays its own part in this gravity. Watch what happens when she's drawn in, how her body begins to lean before her mind even decides to move. The human body is an honest creature. It always points itself toward what it wants. In a crowded room, she'll find ways to orient herself toward you. Her torso faces you even when she's speaking to someone else. Her feet point in your direction. She closes the gap, inch by inch, until you can feel the quiet warmth of her presence. It's rarely conscious. It's biology searching for proximity. When she's near, her body feels safer, more alive. She'll hover close enough that her perfume touches the air around you, yet far enough to still feel in control. It's a balance of tension and permission, that delicate thread stretched between wanting and waiting. Attraction is not about distance closing. It's about how that distance feels. The space between you becomes a story. Every inch holds a question. Will you cross it, or will she? And within that space, both of you start reading signals you don't fully understand. The air thickens. The rhythm of your breathing changes. The longer the silence stretches, the louder it feels. Her eyes will do the talking. Sometimes they're quick flashes. Sometimes they're soft stares that hold you hostage. The gaze of a woman who desires you isn't the same as the gaze of a friend. There's weight in it, a small rebellion against everything she's supposed to hide. You'll notice the difference in how it feels, not how it looks. It feels charged, deliberate, like she's asking you to understand what she won't say. Then there's the testing, the push and pull between gaze and retreat. She looks, then looks away. It's not rejection, it's calibration. A dance as old as time, measuring safety, tension, permission. Each glance is a question. Do you see me? Will you meet me there, without breaking the spell? That's the art of awareness. Not staring, not chasing. Simply holding presence steady enough for her to decide she's safe in it. When a woman feels that safety, her body begins to speak louder. Her shoulders turn toward you, her arms unfold, her laughter escapes easier. You'll feel the gravity shift. The distance that once felt cautious now feels like invitation. There's a rhythm in every human interaction, though most people never hear it. When attraction begins, that rhythm slows. Conversations stretch into pauses. Movements synchronize without meaning to. She mirrors you, the way you hold your glass, the tilt of your head, even the pace of your breath. It's not imitation, it's connection. Her body tuning itself to yours like two instruments trying to find the same note. In that moment, the air feels different. Every sound, every touch, every glance becomes amplified. You are no longer just speaking, you are vibrating in the same frequency. That's what makes desire so addictive. It feels like being understood without words. But this language is fragile. Misread it, and it disappears. Rush it, and it shatters. Awareness is about noticing without needing to control. Attraction dies the moment it feels forced. What keeps it alive is tension, that delicate dance of closeness and restraint. The courage to stay still when every nerve begs to move forward. She will keep testing that stillness. Her eyes will linger again. Her body will inch closer. Her breath will echo yours. But what she's really watching is your awareness. Whether you can hold the charge without breaking it. Whether you can make her feel both desired and safe. Because in truth, attraction isn't just about desire. It's about recognition. Two nervous systems discovering that they belong in the same rhythm. Two bodies remembering how to find each other again. When you look back into her eyes, you're not just looking at beauty. You're witnessing electricity. The space between you is alive, buzzing with unspoken words. You realize she's not merely looking at you, she's feeling you. Her gaze becomes a bridge between what's visible and what's hidden. And that bridge, it's sacred. It's the place where everything human meets everything animal. The mind and the body, the social and the primal, all suspended in one silent exchange. That's why eye contact can feel terrifying. It strips away language and leaves only truth. You see her. She sees you. There's no disguise left. You begin to understand why people look away when things get too real. Why silence can be louder than shouting. Because inside that silence, everything is exposed. Fear, curiosity, longing, hope. The eyes are honest in ways the tongue never could be. So when a woman holds your gaze, when she stands a little too close, when the air seems to hum between you, don't rush to define it. Don't label it, analyze it, or chase it. Just feel it. Because what's unfolding isn't about possession. It's about presence. That's the gravity between two people, invisible, undeniable, ancient. A pull that doesn't demand, only invites. And once you've felt it, you can never go back to ordinary. You'll start noticing it everywhere, in the way strangers look at each other in passing, in the quiet electricity of first encounters, in the tender silence between lovers who no longer need to speak. That's when you finally understand. Desire isn't something you chase. It's something you allow. It isn't about control. It's about surrender. Because when the eyes meet and the distance disappears, it's not the body that's moving. It's the soul remembering what home feels like. She looks calm, composed, untouchable. Her laughter sounds effortless, her gestures polite, her tone perfectly measured. But underneath all that stillness is movement. A quiet storm that the world has taught her to hide. You can see it if you're paying attention. The way her pulse flutters at her throat. The way her fingers play with the rim of a glass. The way her voice trembles for a second when your name slips out. It's there, alive, struggling to breathe beneath the mask. Every woman learns to wear that mask early. She learns it not from malice, but from survival. Society teaches her that to want is dangerous, that to show desire is to lose control. She's told to smile, to stay polite, to keep her longing hidden behind manners and small talk. The world rewards her for restraint, not for honesty. And so she becomes an actress, not because she wants to deceive, but because she's protecting something sacred. Desire, for her, is a secret garden. A place where she can walk barefoot without fear of being judged, touched, or taken. To open that gate, even a little, is to risk everything. It's not that she doesn't feel. She feels too much. Every glance, every pause, every word carries weight. But she hides it, folds it inward, lets her body speak only in whispers. The softness in her tone, the small lean forward, the slight tilt of her head, all quiet signals, all deliberate acts of restraint and invitation at once. Men often mistake that restraint for indifference. They think she isn't interested. But the truth is simpler and more fragile. She's testing the air, measuring if her vulnerability will be safe in your presence. Because desire without safety feels like falling with no ground beneath her. She doesn't need you to chase. She needs you to understand. The mask isn't a wall. It's a test. Behind every calm smile is a question. Can you see me without demanding me? When a woman hides her desire, she isn't rejecting you. She's protecting herself from being misunderstood. For centuries, women have been punished for wanting too much and abandoned for wanting too little. So, she walks a narrow bridge between fear and curiosity, between the instinct to reach out and the instinct to survive. You see it in the dance of her body, the way she comes closer, then steps back, the way her laughter grows bright, then softens into something almost vulnerable. She is both invitation and hesitation, and that tension, that push and pull, is the language of attraction itself. The moment you try to break it, you lose it. The moment you let it breathe, you both fall into it. Her desire hides, not because it's weak, but because it's powerful. It holds the weight of generations of women who learned to conceal longing beneath grace. It's the instinct of the wild animal wearing perfume, the fire burning quietly under silk. She's been told to be desirable, but not desiring, admired, but not hungry. And yet, her body betrays her. Every inhale, every glance, every flick of the wrist becomes a confession too subtle for the untrained eye. When she hides her desire, she's not only protecting herself from men, she's protecting herself from the world's misunderstanding of her. Because the moment a woman reveals longing, the world tries to name it, control it, or shame it. So she keeps it secret. But secrets don't die. They hum beneath the skin. They become energy, a silent gravity pulling her toward what she truly wants. If you've ever felt that quiet pull between you and her, the kind that makes time slow down, that's not coincidence. That's her mask slipping for just a moment. That's her instinct whispering, "Here, now. This one feels different." And in that instant, you are standing inside something ancient. The paradox of being human, wanting and fearing at the same time. The truth is, women don't hide desire because they're ashamed of it. They hide it because they want to control how it's received. They want to give it to someone who knows how to hold it. Someone who understands that desire isn't an invitation to conquer, but an opening to care. To a woman, showing desire is the most dangerous form of honesty. Because once it's seen, it can't be unseen. Once it's felt, it can't be taken back. So she hides. Until the moment she no longer has to. Until she finds someone whose presence feels like quiet, not noise. Someone whose eyes don't demand, but listen. Someone whose calm allows her to exhale. Then, the walls begin to dissolve. The laughter changes. It becomes warmer, unguarded. The way she moves shifts. Her body relaxes into trust. What was once hidden begins to bloom, not because she's been convinced, but because she feels safe. And that's the irony. The more she hides, the more she longs to be found. The more control she tries to keep, the deeper the pull becomes. Her restraint is not rejection. It's a prayer. A hope that someone will see the truth beneath the mask and not run from it. You begin to realize that understanding her is not about reading her body language like a code, but about seeing her humanity beneath the performance. To look at her and say, without words, "You don't have to hide here." That is the kind of awareness that melts fear into connection. Because when she finally lowers the mask, the world changes. Her voice softens into something real. The air around you thickens with unspoken meaning. The silence becomes alive, not awkward, but sacred. She's no longer pretending. She's present. And in that moment, you don't feel like you've discovered her. You feel like she's allowed you to. Every woman hides her desire differently. Some with humor, some with logic, some with distance. But beneath all of it is the same longing, to be understood without having to explain. To be seen, not as an object of desire, but as a being of it. And maybe that's what love really is. Not the removal of the mask, but the understanding of why it was worn in the first place. Because when you finally see that, when you stop demanding her truth and simply wait for it, something rare begins to happen. The body relaxes, the instinct softens, and the walls between two people start to crumble. You realize that her hiding was never to push you away. It was her way of asking, "Are you safe enough for me to be seen?" That is not manipulation. That is trust, still learning how to walk. So when she hides her desire, don't take it as rejection. Take it as an invitation to slow down, to listen, to look closer. Because beneath that calm surface, her instinct is still calling. Quiet, steady, ancient. And when she finally lets it speak, you won't have to guess anymore. You'll feel it, in the air between you, in the warmth of her silence, in the soft, unguarded way she looks at you. That is what it means when a woman stops hiding. Not the end of the mask, but the beginning of truth. It happens quietly. A look that lingers too long. A smile that doesn't mean what you think it does. A conversation that feels like something more. And, before you know it, two people are no longer on the same page. One feels seen. The other feels trapped. One thinks it's a moment. The other thinks it's nothing. Somewhere between perception and truth, connection collapses. Men misread women not because they are blind, but because they are afraid. Afraid to be wrong. Afraid to be vulnerable. Afraid to feel what cannot be controlled. And so they look for certainty where only nuance exists. They want a yes or a no, when the real answer is a trembling maybe. Every man remembers the time he thought she was interested, the laughter, the touch on the arm, the way her eyes lingered a little longer than usual. He thought he saw desire, when in fact he saw comfort. He thought she wanted him, when all she wanted was to be understood. It's easy to mistake kindness for attraction when you're starving for attention. It's easy to build an entire story out of a single glance when you've been waiting too long for someone to look back. But it goes both ways. There are moments when she really did want him, when her body spoke louder than her words, when her guard fell for just a second, and he didn't see it. He thought she was just being nice, polite, friendly. So he stayed silent. And silence is where attraction goes to die. He missed the spark because he was too busy doubting his own worth. Misreading happens not in the eyes, but in the distance between confidence and fear. Men who feel unworthy see rejection everywhere. Men who feel entitled see desire where there is none. The truth lives somewhere in between. And that middle ground, that fragile balance between ego and empathy, is where awareness is born. When you watch a woman long enough to understand her rhythm, you start to see how subtle her honesty is. The way her body leans toward you when she feels safe. The pause before she speaks when something inside her stirs. The laughter that breaks tension instead of filling silence. But you can't notice any of it if your mind is screaming for validation. The louder your fear, the quieter her truth becomes. Desire doesn't survive where noise lives. It needs space, stillness. A man who listens not to respond, but to feel. Because the difference between connection and confusion often comes down to presence. To the ability to sit in uncertainty and still remain open. That is where true masculinity lives. Not in control, but in awareness. When you misread her, it's not just a small mistake. You tear through the delicate bridge she was trying to build. Every woman measures safety in the smallest moments. The tone of your voice, the distance you keep, the patience you show when she hesitates. Misreading her isn't just about misunderstanding attraction. It's about shattering trust. Men often rush to fill the silence. They reach for certainty. They push where stillness was needed. They assume meaning instead of waiting to earn it. That's how connection breaks, not with rejection, but with interruption. Every time you force what should unfold, you turn possibility into pressure. Awareness asks for restraint. To read a woman's signals isn't to collect evidence, it's to understand emotion. It's not about decoding her, it's about attuning to her. The more you demand clarity, the more she withdraws. The more you rush, the less she feels safe. The more you try to prove yourself, the more she feels unseen. This is why presence matters more than words. When you are grounded, patient, calm, she can sense it. Her body recognizes safety, her guard lowers. But when you move with hunger instead of harmony, everything inside her retreats. She might still smile, still talk, still stay, but something invisible has already closed. We live in a world where men are taught that action equals strength. But sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing. To hold your ground when everything in you wants to chase. To listen when silence feels unbearable. To breathe when desire burns. That stillness isn't weakness, it's power. The kind that lets the other person unfold instead of defend. There's a reason so many men lose connection after it starts. They think attraction is a spark, but it's really a rhythm. It isn't found in chasing, but in pacing. The same way you can ruin a song by rushing the beat, you can ruin connection by forcing timing. The more you trust the rhythm, the deeper the melody becomes. Think about the last time you truly felt seen, not admired, not wanted, but understood. That moment felt effortless, didn't it? No words, no need for proof. That's what awareness feels like to a woman. When she senses it, her whole body exhales. That's when desire turns into intimacy, not because you earned it, but because you didn't demand it. Misreading happens when we look outward instead of inward. We see what we want to see, not what's really there. We chase validation instead of connection. We confuse attention with affection. And in that confusion, we destroy the very thing we're searching for. Every misunderstanding between men and women carries the same pain. One person tried to be understood, the other tried to be right. But connection doesn't live in being right. It lives in being real, in staying present enough to feel the difference between performance and truth. A woman's signals are not a puzzle. They're a mirror. They show you not who she is, but how deeply you're willing to see. If you only look for signs that confirm your desire, you'll miss the ones that reveal her soul. But if you look with curiosity, if you approach her like a story instead of a test, you'll see everything you need to. When a man learns to read without assumption, to listen without agenda, he becomes dangerous in the most beautiful way. Because then, he's not trying to conquer her, he's understanding her. And that understanding is magnetic. It's the kind of awareness that makes a woman feel safe enough to reveal what she spent years hiding. So when she looks away, don't chase her. When she grows quiet, don't fill the silence. When she hesitates, don't assume rejection. Hold space, wait, feel. Because in that stillness, something extraordinary happens. The tension doesn't fade, it deepens. The distance doesn't widen, it softens. And in that quiet space, between knowing and not knowing, she begins to trust you. That's what every connection is built on. Not certainty, but trust. Not perfection, but presence. So the next time you find yourself wondering what she meant, what her smile said, what her eyes were hiding. Stop trying to decode her. Start noticing yourself. Because the way you see her is shaped by what you believe about you. If you can meet her without the armor, without the noise, without the need to win, she'll feel it. And she'll stay. Connection isn't lost because women are complicated. It's lost because men forget how to listen. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. At first, you think it's just attraction, the spark, the tension, the pull that lives in the space between two people. But the longer you sit in that silence, the more you realize it's not just desire moving between you. It's something softer, something that feels like recognition. Beneath every sign of lust, there's a secret language of longing. And the closer you listen, the more you understand that what her body speaks is not just want, but vulnerability. A woman's body doesn't only call for touch, it calls for understanding. Every glance, every small breath, every trembling gesture is an act of courage. When her body leans closer, when her voice lowers, when her skin flushes, she's not just revealing attraction, she's revealing trust. Because to want someone is easy, but to allow yourself to be seen wanting, that's the hardest thing in the world. You can feel it in those quiet moments between words, when her laughter slows and her gaze lingers. The spark that once felt wild begins to feel tender. It's no longer about conquest. It's about connection. Her body isn't inviting you to take. It's asking you to understand. And in that request lies something holy. A reminder that beneath every desire is the need to feel safe in it. Desire is the beginning, not the destination. It's the doorway that leads deeper, into the quiet truth of being human. It's not just lust that makes her pupils dilate or her breath quicken. It's emotion rising to the surface. The longing to be touched is intertwined with the longing to be known. And that's what most people miss. They chase the physical and forget the spiritual. They see the body and miss the soul living inside it. There's a moment, always, when attraction turns into something else. The air softens. The noise fades. You start to feel her presence instead of her appearance. The rhythm between you steadies, and you begin to realize that you're not chasing pleasure anymore. You're witnessing truth. The body has spoken, and now it's the heart's turn. When you truly look at her, not through hunger but through empathy, you begin to see what the signs really meant. The trembling voice, the steady breath, the open posture. All of them are small acts of surrender. She's saying, I trust you to see me without taking from me, and if you can meet her there, in that delicate middle ground between desire and devotion, you'll understand that every physical signal is really a prayer for safety, disguised as seduction, because lust alone is hollow. It burns quickly, beautifully, and then dies, but connection, the kind that comes from awareness, lasts. It lingers like scent on the skin, like warmth in the chest. It changes the way you see people. You stop looking for bodies and start seeing stories. You stop chasing touch and start craving presence. Every woman's body tells the same story in a different language. When she looks at you, she's not only seeing the man in front of her, she's measuring the space between danger and comfort, between mystery and peace. If you hold that space with gentleness, she will bloom. But if you fill it with noise, she will vanish. That's how fragile the conversation of attraction truly is. Her body isn't a map for pleasure. It's a compass for truth. Every reaction, every signal is pointing toward something deeper, her emotional landscape, the part of her that wants to be held, not owned. To listen to her body is to listen to what words have been too afraid to say. See me, not just my beauty. Touch me, but don't erase me. There's a tenderness hidden inside every act of desire. Beneath the hunger, there's hope. Beneath the passion, there's a wish to belong. Her body doesn't crave possession. It craves presence. It wants to know that when it reaches out, it won't find emptiness on the other side. That when it trembles, it will be met with steadiness, not greed. And maybe that's what separates lust from love, attention. Lust sees only movement. Love listens to meaning. Lust wants to consume. Love wants to understand. When you begin to listen differently, desire stops being an instinct and becomes a language. You start to feel its rhythm, the slow unfolding of trust, the harmony between vulnerability and strength. You realize then that attraction is not a game of power. It's a mirror of emotion. The same energy that creates desire is the one that reveals our deepest fears. Fear of rejection, fear of exposure, fear of not being enough. When her body speaks, it's not only calling you closer. It's testing if you can hold her fears without running from them. That's what true intimacy demands. Not skill, not dominance, but empathy. If you look back on every moment that felt real, the ones that made you forget time, the ones that made your chest ache, they all have one thing in common: presence. The kind of presence that doesn't rush to touch, doesn't rush to answer, just stays. Because presence is proof. It tells her that you can handle the truth of her body, the truth of her silence, the truth of her wanting. The beauty of this understanding is that it changes you too. You start to realize that her body is not the only one speaking. Yours is too. The way you breathe when she looks at you, the way your chest tightens when she laughs, the way your own guard begins to fall. All of it is communication. Attraction isn't something happening to you, it's something happening through you. The conversation between two bodies is not about dominance or surrender. It's about recognition. The same current that moves through her moves through you. You're not reading her, you're remembering her. And that remembrance feels like home. When you finally understand what her body is truly saying, you stop asking, "What does she want from me?" You start asking, "What is she trying to feel safe enough to show me?" That question alone transforms the entire dynamic, because it shifts desire from taking to receiving, from consuming to cherishing. And then you begin to see how sacred this all is. The trembling hand, the quiet breath, the fleeting glance that says everything words can't. Each is an offering, not of lust but of trust. Every reaction her body gives you is a bridge, if you have the patience to walk it slowly. The truth is, attraction isn't about finding the right person. It's about learning to listen to what the body has been trying to tell you all along. When you do, you stop chasing love and start recognizing it. In the way she smiles, in the way silence feels different when she's near, in the quiet peace that follows the fire. Because beyond lust, beyond the quick rush and the fleeting thrill, there's something much deeper waiting to be felt. It's not in the body alone. It's in the moment two souls stop pretending to be strangers. It's in the stillness that follows understanding. It's in the softness that only appears when both people stop trying to win and start trying to see. Her body was never just speaking of desire. It was speaking of truth, of loneliness, of courage, of the endless hope to be met by someone who doesn't just want her, but gets her. And maybe that's all any of us are really asking for. To be wanted, yes, but more than that, to be understood.